I thought the first quarter we kind of held them to, holding them to 8 points is what we planned on doing, trying to slow them down. But we just didn't. We had a hard time taking care of the ball. Then we had 9 turnovers the first quarter. So, it's hard to stay in the game, Oh, and probably 4 to 6 points of their 8 were probably off a turnover. So, and that's what they do. They try to create it. And, to me, when you miss a day of practice and stuff like that, it's difficult on the catching and the passing and all the little things that nobody really realizes on the women's side. That is very important, catching the ball clean and all that, and especially against a team like that and the game like that. So I just thought that was kind of tough. And, we didn't shoot the ball very well. I thought they had some things to do, but a lot of 20-something turnovers is not a good way to play a game against a team like that. And they were 10 for 28 from the 3. And, that's what they do, I didn't think they could do that quick, but it's impressive to see that they're pretty tough, and it makes it hard. It makes it hard to guard because when you're struggling to break the press and then you got to come back and guard and stuff, it made it a little bit difficult. And us having a couple of people missing and a little bit of lack of effort. When you get down on the defensive side or the offensive side, your defense is usually not as good. So that's kind of what happened. But
the way that they press you, was it any different than last week?
No, it was the same. It was pretty much the same. I thought we did a better job the second half of handling it and stuff like that. Jay was playing then too, and I'm not sure if Sam was out or not. I think maybe Sam was in. So we did a little bit better job of getting the ball down the floor and stuff. But today we tried to do a little bit of different press and stuff like that. And I don't know, I just, for some reason, we didn't step for the ball. We didn't, there was a lot of just lazy ball turnovers, and a lot of them live ball. When you turn it off on a live ball, they don't give you a chance to guard. And I thought, you saw that at the end of the first when they scored, and then pretty much the end of the second, same thing. So yeah, it's kind of tough.
How much of a challenge is it going to be as quick of a turnaround it is, to not let the turnover bug snowball into Saturday?
Yeah, it's kind of like last week. We had some turnovers last week too. In both games. And so it hadn't really stopped, for us. Just kind of struggling, to take care of the ball. And, hopefully against Troy, it's not that much fun because they're going to try to play us fast. They're going to try to make us play fast. And that usually when you play fast on offense, that's when the turnovers usually happen, So we got to do a little bit better job of trying to slow down and not try to run with them and, take care of the ball. And we call it taking care of the ball, but for some reason we just couldn't catch it tonight, man. It's like we fumbled the ball a lot. So, the answer is we only got one day to prepare, and it makes it kind of tough. With the weather conditions, that was not much we could do. Where they were practicing the whole time in Arkansas, so it makes it. Their travel was tough, but they were still able to put some time into their practice.
So right now, it just seems like it's a physical challenge. We talked about when you were going up to Arkansas State, but now you're still short-handed and you're playing physically demanding teams. Yeah, it's a physical challenge.
I would agree with that too. That's why I think this team right here is probably the worst shaped team I've ever had. They're good athletes. Don't get me wrong, but we're not in great shape. We were missing some things, some pieces during the summer and stuff like that. That I didn't think we had a great summer. And I think that carries over when you're not able to get in the weight. The weight room and all that stuff's so important during the summer. It is, when you don't have it, and you got a lot of new kids coming in that are trying to learn every part of our system and stuff. So I think that kind of hurt too.
TR, do you get to a point in the game where you just need certain people to shoot, and did they take those girls away?
I think they do, and with that press and all that, the ball's in her hands a lot, and so and they love to double her up. And we were trying to do that to one too, like double them up to give up the ball, and try not to let them get it back. So yeah, they kind of do that, and I think it kind of frustrates her a little bit. You saw the fourth quarter; she played a little bit better and got a little bit more aggressive. But I think if anybody that's can kind of score. It frustrates you when they double you up, and then they make it hard for you to get the ball back. It's a good tactic, because you will get frustrated, and I think that's what she does. She gets a little frustrated with it, and I did like how we played, and came back the fourth quarter, but it was just a little too late.
Do you feel like the rotations from Arkansas State might have threw things off for the girls a little bit? I mean, if you look at the numbers, 31-2 on bench points throughout the night, that was one of the main contributors. Do you think that getting a new fresh five continually like flipping and flopping throughout the game, that kind of maybe threw them off a little bit?
No, I think it's a system that they run. That's what Marshall did last year when they won the league. They were doing the same thing. They were rotating five every 2 minutes, and they're not rotating just 2 or 3 people. They're rotating all five. I think it's a great system if you have the players to do it. They went after shooters, so instead of play half court because they're probably not as good defensively, they make it full court, so they make the game faster. So there's a lot more possessions. And if you're going to shoot a lot of threes, you want a lot of possessions. That's what Troy does. They want 100 possessions, or in the game, so that they can get 60 or whatever. And we want to keep it lower than that, because we're a defensive team. We don't want to have to build a guard that much. And so it's a challenge to teach kids to play that way, like for us to slow down a little bit because there's a shot clock. And they inviting you into open spaces, if you notice. They love to invite you into the corners and all that, and it looks like it's open. If you haven't really played in it, it makes it a little bit tougher. But you're right. The way it's a great system, Marshall did it, and then the girl at Marshall went to Tennessee. She's doing it at Tennessee, almost beat LSU playing that way, and people are concerned about playing against it because it's a great rotation and stuff like that. I would love to play like that if we could ever stay healthy, You're just not. And even though we're not as good at three-point shooters, you still could play somewhat like it.
Any hope of anybody else coming back Saturday?
Saturday, no, not this week. I don't think anybody will be back.